Uh, Hello teacher, my name is Chang and today I'm going to talk about a topic which is relevant to literature. My title is Using Literary Text in Teaching Reading Skills. The very first one is my research will be my presentation will be divided into six parts. The very first one is about the problems. What is the rationale of my research, like from my own experience and also from my observation during classes, that I see students are quite quiet and bored with the reading classes due to the reason that the method of teaching reading English as a second language in Vietnam is quite traditional but do little to motivate students. For example, the teachers just gave the student a handout or worksheet and then ask them to underline the keywords, skim and scan the information, and then answer the list of questions to comprehend. But actually, they can comprehend so little. They just do because of the test or because of the exercise. And I think that my method is innovative because although a lot of teachers have applied this method, however, in my context, I have different context, which is different objectives. Uh, because some teachers in my department have applied this method, but for the third year students, but I desire to apply it for the second year students. And I will like, how will I benefit as a researcher? Well, actually, I'm not thinking me as a researcher. I just think that I'm a teacher or an inspirer to think of the new idea or new method to help to support my students. So my biggest benefit is my students better performance in readings along with engagement, not reluctance. The second part is my question, research question. Number one is, how does a teacher select or choose an appropriate literary text in their reading classes? And question number two is, I will focus on the question why and what are the benefits of using literary text in reading. The third part is about literature review. I have mentioned here three uh, research that are relevant and can support my research. Number one is of Murat in 2005. In this research, the author have mentioned all the benefits of using literature in language classes, and they delivered in a persuading way, which can convince the readers about the benefits. And what I find inspiring and motivating from this research is about the some criteria that the teacher can select an appropriate text which I care for. For example, like the teacher should consider about the gender of students, about the range of ages of students, about the English competencies, about their purposes, as well as the teacher's purpose as well. The second research is of Hailu and Fikadu in 2018. I find I am so excited with this research because the problems of their students and my students have some similarities, and I desire to see that whether the same problems can be solved by the same method or not. The third one is the research of Aimer in 2012. In this research, the author have focused on the massive benefits of using literature in teaching reading skills. Along with that, the research the author have mentioned about the correlation between literature and culture. Do you want to know how? Like, they said that they literature and culture have this strong relationship with each other. Like culture, literature is a strong version of culture, and the we can dig deeper into the literature of work to see the cultures of that area of where the author lived and wrote the work. The fourth part is about the setting and the cultural aspects. Number one is about the setting. My objectives my participants are the students of second year at the university, and the number of students are from 20 to 24 only, and they have all experienced 1 year of university with learning 4 skills like reading, writing, listening, and speaking. After 1 year, they are quite familiar with the methods, the different methods in university. Um, and about the facilities in class, the facilities are quite modern, and we have been prepared all the things, for example, like projector, the whiteboard, the speaker, the markers, the chairs and tables are all, and especially that we have the round tables and the chairs around that, like four tables. And I see this arrangement is quite useful for me because I prefer the work more than the individual work, and I want students to sit around and see face to face with each other, which will like support for their communication more. About the cultural aspects, the very first one I need to consider is about the classroom context. As I mentioned in the setting, like I need to consider about the number of students, their gender, the classroom facilities, and to give the most appropriate text and activities. The second one is learners' preferences. Like these students come from different areas of living, and also they have the different background knowledge of not only English but also other aspects of life. So I need to consider that someone like group work, someone like individual work, someone like activities, but some just like the mental activities like sit still and just discuss something. Next part is about methodology and data collection. I will conduct my research in qualitative and quantitative way. Like I will give out the questionnaires and also conduct some in-depth interviews and observation. I will give the questionnaire for 20 to 24 students to take the data, and then during the time of giving the questionnaire, I will conduct some in-depth interviews with some students only, and observation during classes will be applied too. About some ethical considerations, number one, that my research cannot be conducted individually. It has the involvement of a lot of people. So the very first one, I need to ask for their consensus. A consent form will be sent to each student to explain carefully about the research and the purpose. The second one is make sure their identification. Like to do this one, so all their answers and their names will be anonymous. I just publish their English level, and to make sure their identification. The third one is use authentic sources and cite carefully. Like to do this and just to show the respect to the author. Like I want to use authentic materials because it will provide the most like valuable sources for students to learn, and also respect the author. So I need to cite carefully. And last but not least, like we have to expect some unexpected things during the research. Maybe some students can withdraw due to some personal reason. So as a researcher, of course my results will be affected somehow, but I still show the sincere respect and send them a big thank because they at least they approved to participate with me. Of course my results can be affected some way, but I will note down in my data collection to as an evidence for the change of data analysis then. Okay, so I have introduced to you 6 parts of my research. The very first one is about the problems and the rationale. Number two is my research questions. Number 3 is about literature review of 3 research. Number 4 about setting and cultural aspects. Number 5, methodology and data collection. Number 6 is some ethical consideration. Okay, and here are the references. And my research not only focusing on finding the new method to support students, but also to inspire other researchers or teachers to like support students with me, and they will like dig deeper into this method to see whether it is useful or not. Okay, so thank you for listening.